So first of all, spoiler warning, I'm going to be talking about the plot of Godzilla vs. Kong, and to be honest, most of this is obvious through the trailers, and the only real spoiler is who wins at the end. So I went to the theater to watch this movie, and it was a great time. There was only like 12 people in the entire theater, made for 400, so you had like 5 rows to yourself. Me and the boys were making monkey noises while those darn lizard lovers were hissing in the corner. And before the movie started, we got to see a little statistic that said 48% of people think Godzilla's gonna win, while 52 are rooting for King Kong. So a lot of people did have faith in my boy. And originally I was just gonna make a video about just the fight, but after rewatching it on HBO, I decided to make like a full review. So let me give you a quick synopsis. First thing we see is King Kong scratching his butt, and a little girl named Gia gives him a doll and communicates by teaching our monkey sign language. He's in containment, which he isn't too happy about, but then we see Godzilla destroying a city like a savage. Then we cut to a title screen that shows a list of the titans that have been defeated by either King Kong or Godzilla, which kinda looks like that one scene from Incredibles. Apex, which is the quote-unquote evil laboratory company, gets a scientist named Dr. Nathan Lin to help them find a new source of energy, as well as get King Kong to help guide them there as well. They do this because Kong is the only one that could stop Godzilla. So Nathan gets Elaine, who's Gia's caretaker, to agree to let Kong out so they can go on the quest and get Kong back to his original home. They travel by ocean where Kong and Godzilla first duke it out, then they get to the Arctic where there is a portal that leads to the Hollow World. Turns out the Hollow World is where Kong's ancestors lived long ago. Then we're introduced to some more crazy kaijus, and they eventually discover a cave where it turns out Godzilla and Kong's ancestors fought in a great ancient war. This is where Kong gets his new axe, and it turns out that this axe was made from one of Godzilla's ancestors. It's basically a big stick with a nuclear scale taped onto it. The corporate daughter who came along on this journey had her people take a sample from the new energy source they found and send the data up to Daddy Dearest. This is what helps Mechagodzilla reach 100% capacity. During all this, Godzilla attacks Tokyo and burns a hole all the way down to Hollow Earth with his atomic breath. Kong accepts the challenge and jumps in the hole with his new axe. The two meet in the middle of the city for round 2 and 3. After their bout, Mechagodzilla comes and beats up Godzilla. Then Kong decides to save him and join forces. The two team up to defeat Mechagodzilla, then go their separate ways. Alright, that's everything. Now let me talk about my biggest gripe with this movie. It's no secret that the weakest part of Kaiju's movies are usually the human parts. But this time it was actually a lot better. Except for the two teenagers running around with a conspiracy theorist. These kids were annoying to watch. Basically, this high school girl named Madison gets inspired by a conspiracy theorist, Bernie, to find out the true reason why Godzilla's attacking. So she gets her simp Josh to steal his older brother's van, and she says,
"No, my brother would never let you drive either.
My mission, my wheel."
She's a high schooler, she probably doesn't even have a license. And she's just a kid, why would she want to be messing with giant killer kaijus? So they meet up with this conspiracy theorist who's been sneaking into secret laboratories, and this man decides to take these kids with him. So they get into a very high-tech laboratory that for some reason has no security cameras. After exploring for a bit, they hid from security in a shipment of skullcrawler eggs that take off to Tokyo. Once they get to Tokyo, the shipment doors open with no staff or security to check on it. Why did the door even open if there was no one to secure the shipment? Even Walmart has more security than this place. These kids are the luckiest humans on Earth. They straight up broke into a high-tech war machine research facility just by stumbling around. And they didn't even have a map or know the layout of this place. They were genuinely just stumbling around. Which really sucks because I like Bernie's character. He had a tragic backstory and everything. But why did he bring the kids with him? I think it would have been a lot better if you let Mark Russell, who is the father of Madison, and a director of Monarch, you know, like an actual character of importance, to go on this wacky adventure with Bernie. I don't want to see his daughter drag a simp around and act like she knows what she's doing. All she's actually doing is putting her and a friend in some serious danger. But that was the only real issue I had with this movie. Why don't we switch gears and talk about some of the best parts of this movie though? Like how my favorite Godzilla is a savage one, and this movie's Godzilla is one hell of a savage. He was destroying things left and right. He didn't even care about human life. He wasn't a good guy at all. He was just focusing on his own goals. Not to mention he was going ham on any city he stepped foot in like a Giga Chad. The real star of the show really felt like King Kong. He was such an emotional character even though they lowballed him. I'm not kidding. Anytime Kong fought, whatever he was fighting was bending him over and just giving it to him. The only exceptions were the fights in Tokyo, which makes sense because by the time he got there, he had his big monkey hands on the big monkey stick. But back to what I was originally saying, Kong was expressive in this movie, probably the most expressive he's ever been in any of his movies. And it makes sense because this movie was very much like his story, his quest, to finding out about his ancestors and finding himself a new home, one where he can actually roam free and do whatever he wants. But even Godzilla was so expressive that he would smile in the scene. But now let's talk about why everyone came to watch this movie. The fight scenes, baby. There's 4 in total and every single one of them are really good. So let's talk about the first one. The first fight takes place in the middle of the sea. And I'm a Kong supporter to the very end, but if you thought he stood a chance against Godzilla in the middle of the sea, you are on crack. There's literally no way. And Godzilla knew that the whole time they were fighting, he kept trying to drown King Kong on purpose. And there was a point in the fight where he dragged them down into ocean, making sure he couldn't breathe. It was an absolute wash. Now that's not to say that King Kong didn't put up a good fight. He definitely did his best. He landed some solid blows, threw Godzilla overboard, and even did a monkey flip to dodge Godzilla's nuclear breath. But yeah, this was round 1 and it definitely went to Godzilla. The next fight we see takes place in Hollow Earth where we see Kong take on 2 war bats, which are basically giant flying snake kaijus. We immediately see Kong grab one by the tail and slam it against the ground, which ends up killing it. But the second one wraps itself around Kong and tries to suffocate him with its wing. Then Kong tears his head off and gets a taste of that sweet snake juice. Fight 3 takes place in Tokyo where Godzilla and Kong meet to duke it out. This fight consists of 2 rounds, and this is by far the best fight in the movie. Both of these titans actually use their head and play to their strengths. Whereas Godzilla is always putting pressure because he knows he's naturally stronger, Kong has to get creative and find solutions to these sort of problems. He even uses the axe just like the tree from the original movie. And some of these attacks are super savage. There was an elbow to a neck, a Superman punch to the jaw, a linebacker tackle, and even a drop kick. It was non-stop Chad energy. But oh boy did Godzilla spam his atomic breath. This dude spammed his breath harder than I spam PK Fire with Ness from Smash Brothers. And it's not a bad thing. The homie was just playing it smart. My favorite part was when Kong had to get creative because he lost his axe. So he decided to get a crane, throw it at a building to distract Godzilla, and went straight for the rear naked choke. Sadly, my monkey boys know Khabib, so the moment he lost his axe was the moment he lost the fight. But the fight was done really well and I have no complaints. It was pretty honest and realistic to how it actually go down. Like King Kong with the axe has the advantage, so round 1 went to him. But the moment he loses the axe is the moment he doesn't stand a chance, which is why round 2 went to Godzilla. So ultimately Godzilla won. Because Kong just got his axe, he's really new to it, and the first thing he does is get it stuck in a building. And during the whole battle, Godzilla's always trying to remove the axe from the fight. But yeah, best fight in the movie. Now let's talk about the beatdown, I mean the fight that happens right after. When Mechazilla shows up, he just thrashes Godzilla in every building in sight. They must have built this thing out of Durasteel or Vibranium because it is built different. Godzilla genuinely didn't stand a chance, and I don't know if it was because he was tired or if Mechazilla was just that strong. Eventually King Kong joined the fight to help Godzilla out, and as soon as that happens, this fight became WWE Tag Team Wrestling. In the end, Godzilla juices Kong's axe, and the axe transforms from a stick into a lightsaber, which just tears Mechazilla apart. So who won? The monkey, of course. While Godzilla gets to swim off the sea and deal with all the surface humans, Kong gets to go to the hollow world and enjoy himself in monkey paradise. I mean, think about it, what did Godzilla really get? He proved he was the strongest and got some new battle scars. Whereas King Kong gets a new land to explore and a new family to interact with. He's so much happier than he was at the start of the movie. But overall, the movie was really good. The fight scenes were amazing. There was never downtime. It's always constant action. The human plot in this movie is actually really good, except for the one part of it. So ultimately, 8 bananas out of 10.
What up, my bro Tatoes? Founding father Benjamin here with a sick Yoyos. Shiz made some commentary, spinning facts out his derriere like he don't care. Not quite, but you might notice his voice is soothing, just like Lil Shins. Yes, don't call me lazy. Speaking is not easy. My friend, you are going crazy.